Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time, and I have been knitting, so I'm going to tell you all about it. Guess what? I'm sick of Vlogmas. Not of watching them, of making them. I have like 2 days of cranking filmed, but editing it sounds like I would rather die. I don't want to do it. So, if you've been wondering, where are Rachel's Vlogmas updates? Guess what? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know if I ever will. So, there you go. Basically, if I'm going to edit and upload the 2 days that I have filmed, I need to do it now because there's no sense in posting like Vlogmas day 12, 13, 14, whatever it is, on like December 20th. Hello. Yeah. So, if you're wondering what the heck is going on, I got sick of it. Sorry. Okay, so anyway, hi, welcome to my podcast. Pardon me extremely, I had a phone call, which never happens. I don't use my phone as a phone. That is the worst thing ever. A fate worse than death. But I had a phone call all the same. Okay, so what was I saying? Today's video is podcast episode 38. So let me just rein it in here. If you're new and you're like, what the heck is going on? I have a weekly podcast where I tell you all about my making shenanigans from the week prior. So if I've been knitting, if I've been spinning, if I have had yarn come in the mail, all that kind of stuff, I go over in my weekly podcast. Now, do the podcasts happen every week? Yeah, most of the time. Sometimes I'm not in the mood. Today, I was not in the mood, but I persevered. I did it anyway because I knew that I would be proud of myself if I did it. So, here we are. All this to say, this episode 38 of the podcast, covers my making from December 9th through yesterday, December 14th, 15th. Yes, because today is December 16th. So, a week's worth of progress from last Monday to yesterday, Sunday evening. So let's start the podcast with project updates. I have 4 projects, well, technically 5 projects to update you on. And the first one, I have to say, is a showstopper. This is the completed sea glass sweater. This is designed by Wool and Pine Designs. It is my magnum opus of 2024, I do believe. I cast this on in January, and it languished in my WIP pile for months and months and months. But, as you may be aware, it is my goal to leave 2024 with clear needles. So, I am being so brave, and I am visiting or revisiting all of my projects that have hurt my feelings throughout the course of the year or the last few years, as is the case with my Strya cardigan, which I haven't revisited yet in the month of December, but I sure will. Anyway, finish the sea glass sweater. All of the ends, except 3 or 4 at the neckline, are woven in. This is like seriously so much labor that has gone into this garment. Look at all those ends. And this is not just the case for the back seam, but also both sleeves. Oh my goodness. Hours of just weaving in the ends. Just an astronomical amount of work. But the payoff is sweet. So, some things about the sea glass that you might want to know. This is a DK weight pattern. I've already told you it's designed by Wool and Pine Designs, Selena and Abby. And I've knit this up in Long Dog yarn, various colorways from the Princess Bride collection. Now, I've mentioned this before, but just to make sure I'm, dotting my I's and crossing my T's and having all my ducks in a row, I used one main color. I used the Cliffs of Insanity, which is a gray like a grayish brownish variegated yarn. I used that on every row. And then I used an alternating color. Like here you see this row is blue and gray, and then we have like a pinkish, orangish, reddish, and then a yellow, and then purple, pink. So the Cliffs of Insanity, the gray, is on every row, which made yarn management more bearable, and it made me not go cross-eyed when I was working on this. I've tried this a few other times using just total odds and ends, like total chaos, stash busting, not very organized, and I never got through like more than a few inches of the yoke each time because it just made me go cross-eyed. So this is done, and I will show you what it looks like on my body. This is not blocked yet, so I'm going to take this opportunity to talk you through some of the things I'm hoping to accomplish when I do block it. So it's really tight right now. It's written to have more ease than I have on, or that, you know, that it has on me. So this is not maybe an accurate representation of how this is meant to be, but it's the way that I have mine. I am not frogging this. I am not changing it. This is the sea glass that will live in my portfolio of knitted items. I'm not redoing this. I may knit another one, but I'm not going to redo this one. Okay? So, as you may be able to observe, it is quite tight around my tummy, which I have mentioned before. And, oh, some things that I modified, by the way. I kept the beginning of round in the back the whole way. The pattern instructions have you put the beginning of round at the underarm once you split for sleeves, and I think probably I just forgot to do that, and then I just went with it, but I'm fine with the seam being in the back. You can tell that it's a seam, but I don't care. I've decided that for myself. So, some things also that I did, I decreased the cuff stitches because the pattern doesn't have that, and I knit one cuff according to the pattern, and I didn't love that look of it being so open, so I knit the second sleeve with a tighter cuff, and then I went and redid the first cuff I knit to make it tighter. Okay, so I don't know what that was. With blocking, here's what I want to accomplish. I want to stretch this out. I want to hopefully get it, I don't know, a little bit more circumference to make it a little bit more drapey, because it is quite cinched up on my body. That's not bad, but with this fabric, it's quite thick. This is DK weight yarn, and because it is color work, it's almost like it's twice as thick, because for every stitch, you have a DK weight stitch, and then you have a DK weight float behind that stitch for the yarn that you're not working with that stitch. So it's a very, very warm fabric, which again is fine. However, since there's not as much positive ease, it makes me feel like a little claustrophobic almost. So I definitely want to achieve a little bit more stretch and drape when I block this. After I block it, I plan to tackle the neckline. I don't know yet if that will mean I add elastic and that solves the problem, or if I need to redo the neckline, or if I need to add a new neckline around the existing neckline. I'm not sure yet, but that's the update on my sea glass. It's done, it's off the needles, and after I am done filming this, I will block it, and then maybe next week I'll have some exciting updates with the results of the blocking, and maybe an update on the neckline as well. So yes, I'm very, very proud of this. I think that the fabric is just gorgeous. It's so pretty, so beautiful, and I'm very, very, very happy that this is done. Very, very happy. So there's the update on my sea glass. The next project that I have to update you on is all of the socks that I've been making with my scrappy advent that Leslie sent me. Now here's the deal. As I told you at the beginning of this episode, I'm sick of Vlogmas. I'm just a little burnt out, and I think that's fine. That's understandable. I know there are people out there that get really obnoxified when people start Vlogmas and then can't finish it. But I mean, sorry, I would rather have my own peace of mind than try and, you know, please everybody. So, as I showed you last week, I made 6 pairs of socks for the first 6 days of December. Great, awesome, wonderful. Then I fell behind. But I have since cranked many other pairs. However, none of the additional pairs, since last week are finished because I haven't grafted any of the toes closed. So it's just really piling up. But I'm giving myself permission to, you know, take a beat, breathe, chill. It's fine. This is not a problem. This is a fake problem that I've created in my mind, feeling like I'm falling behind on the hobby I do for enjoyment. Absurd, ridiculous. So, I'm done stressing about it. But I also don't remember the order of these, but I'll just tell you what the colors are that I cranked. This scrappy advent offering was Millennial Pink. I don't know what Kimber calls this base, but it's basically like a rainbow tweed in the Millennial Pink colorway. And I paired it with Kimber Cozy Creations Teal Ocean for the main color. They look kind of dinky without the toes grafted yet and not blocked yet, but don't you think those will look cute? I sure do. So there's one pair. I also used Kimber's Cozy Creations Teal Ocean as the main color on this pair of socks, which I think are super, super cute. The Advent Mini for this day was from Sheepyshire, but Leslie didn't know the colorway name, and if she doesn't know, I certainly don't know. But I thought that this was a really cute pairing because there's like teal speckles in this Sheepyshire Mini that really pair well with the Teal Ocean main color from Kimber. So there's another pair. And then I also cranked a pair of green, or 2 pairs of green socks. This main color is Treehouse Knits. I swear we've seen this tree before. I think it's the most beautiful green I've ever seen with hand-dyed yarn. It's so deep and rich and beautiful. So I paired this with Explorer Knits and Fibers Untamed for a pair of socks. Again, they look stupid without the toes grafted, but this is what it is. And then also I used, I swear we've seen this tree before from Treehouse Knits, for another pair using Sorella Yarn Folklore on the Stellina base. So I'm not sure how well the camera will pick this up, but it is glittery, which is kind of fun. So these are almost like Christmas socks. Maybe I'll wear these for my Christmas outfit. Won't that be fun? So another pair of socks. And then there's really a theme here where I'm double dipping with the main color because I don't know if you can tell, but I just got sick of it. I'm sorry, I got sick of it. I think my attention span is really, really lacking. I think that this is like just part of who I am, but also spending 7 years chasing a goal and then reaching that goal. I'm like, I don't want to spend a long time on anything ever again. So I got sick of these socks. But for this pair, the Advent Mini was the Blue Door from Kimber's Cozy Creations, which is from the Ireland Memories collection that Kimber did in collaboration with Leslie and was inspired by this blue door in the town of Adair, which we visited on our first Irish knitting tour. So it only was fair that I paired it with the main color skein a dare named after the town itself and the pretty flowers and all of the beautiful things we saw there. So this is like truly an Ireland pair of socks. And I think they look really, really, really cute. Kimber is really just being very represented in the socks because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs so far out of what, I think 14 that are using Kimber's Cozy Creations. No, more than that. No, not more than that. Well, it's still a lot. So there's those. And then I did this also with this Madeline Tosh yarn from the Scrappy Advent. I used a Dare as the main color. And then here's my Hedgehog Fiber socks. So these are also Ireland socks because both of these yarns, both the contrast color and the main color, were purchased on the first Irish knitting tour at Hedgehog Fibers in 2023. So the contrast color is ink, and the main color is a potluck skein, which is what Hedgehog Fibers calls their one-of-a-kind skeins or their one-of-a-kind batches. So I think these are super cute too. So that means in total I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pairs of socks. However, 7 of those 13 are not complete because the toes are not grafted closed yet, and who knows when I will do that. When I feel like it is when I will. So there's the update on the Advent socks. I'm behind even on opening up the Advent, but I really have just zeroed in on my WIPs and finishing them because I'm realizing I'm getting a lot more enjoyment out of finishing these garments that have been on my needles than using my sock machine right now. So I'm just going to lean into that and move forward with that, and then maybe tomorrow or another day I'll wake up and I'll just have my sock machine on my mind and I'll lean into that on that day. So I'm just kind of, I'm following the good vibes for now. So the next project that I need to update you on is my alchemy pullover, but I didn't plan this right and it's in the living room, so let me go grab it and then we'll talk about it. All right, here is my alchemy pullover. I'm using my Ivy pole, Miss Ivy pole, to alternate skeins using my two of my Lemonwood Mini-Minders. One in particular being my Fuchsia Flower Mini-Minder, which, if you've been wanting one, they are now listed on Etsy, but that's neither here nor there. So here's my alchemy pullover. I cast this on December 13th. Today is December 16th, and this is how far I've gotten. I'm trying to finish this by December 26th, so I make it from start to finish in 13 days. We'll see if it happens. But basically, if you looked at this and you're like, okay, Rachel, that's your progress, but I have no idea what you did. This that I'm holding is the back panel, and this dangling off it is the front left shoulder. So today I'm hoping to finish both the front portions and get to the point where I join in the round. Who knows if that's possible, but I'm sure gonna chase that carrot. I'm sure gonna try. And you may also be wondering why my tension looks so different. This line here is basically indicating where I was when I blocked this because I wanted to check gauge. I am bang on with stitch gauge and row gauge. So I've carried on my tighter tension that I had with the rainy day tee, and I'm applying that to the alchemy pullover because I know that Leslie knits tighter than I do. So that's really serving me well when knitting her pattern because it's helped me to meet gauge. So I also want to take a moment to tell you this yarn, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is Cousins from Dusty Yarn Co. This was gifted to me. And from far away, it looks like it's just like a nice lilac-y, lavendery purple. But up close, you can see all of this variation. It's just gorgeous. I'm really enjoying this pattern and also this yarn. Like, just look at the detail on this pattern. This side detail that will run down the shoulder, and then this here. It's just like, how do you come up with this stuff? I'm really, really impressed. And Leslie, I think you should just be so proud. This is really, really, really enjoyable. So I'm just flying away on this. And hopefully next week I'll have, I don't know, most of it done, because the 26th is next week. So fingers crossed, manifest it for me, my continued success. But it's really, really fun to be knitting this. I want to get it done, and I'm just like, I'm chasing that rush. It feels so good to clear my needles. So I want to have that same feeling that I had with the sea glass, with this pullover, and then with my Straya. So that's really what I'm leaning into. The next project that I have to update you on is the mystery project that I showed you at the end of project updates last week. Some of you had some very fun guesses, like if it was a cup cozy or fingerless gloves, or like, did someone say like a phone case or something? None of those were correct. I'm so sorry to tell you. What happened was I went to an Airbnb last week, like a mid-century modern Airbnb. It was so cute, so gorgeous, so fun to be there. And I had a little staycation with DJ. I knit and I made content, and it was just great. So the mystery project was a little thing for them to display in the Airbnb. I'll put a picture up here so you can look at it. I wasn't super impressed with myself when I finished making it, so I made them another item, which I'll put up here, you can look at. So they had two things to display in the Airbnb that I knit for them. Ta-da! If you want to see more about my process of making those two things, or just about what the stay was like at the Airbnb, you can check out my latest Vlogmas, which was all about me staying at the Airbnb and what I got up to while I was there. I spun, I knit. It was great. It was a great time. But that's it for project updates. We've already chatted about Vlogmas, and I've told you I'm over it. So let's talk about my spin diary. As I just mentioned, I spun at the Airbnb, working through my Rambouillet braid from Long Dog Yarn. And here's a shot of my spinning so you can see how it's going. I am kind of at a point where if I'm going to make this a 3-ply, I need to start a new bobbin, but I don't know if I want to do a 3-ply or not yet. I may still do a 2-ply. So if that is the case, I don't need to start a new bobbin just yet. But spinning is going great as always. I really, really love spinning on my Eco Fantasia wheel from Kromsky. And actually, this is a great transition to the next segment of the podcast, which is acquisitions. So I have lots of cool things that came in the mail. Well, a few cool things. The first of which is this box from Kromsky. It is their newest product, which is a yarn swift. I think that their official name for it is the skeiner, I want to say. But they sent this to me to try out. I haven't opened it yet, so why don't we see what's in here together? Okay, so this is called the Vivo Skeiner, and it does have assembly instructions. And I am not really in the mood to assemble anything right now, but I'll just show you what it looks like with all these pieces in the box. So I'll do that today or later this week and try it out. As I understand it, this is a handy product, not just for winding your yarn you buy, but using it in your process of making yarn. Like after you're done spinning it and you're ready to put it into hank form, the Vivo Skeiner is going to be your best friend. So I'm excited to try that out. Maybe I'll have a dedicated video to it if that's something you are interested in. If so, let me know in the comments. But that was my first acquisition this week, my big ticket item. The second acquisition, which is a gift, which is so special. If you follow Rachel Antonitz on Instagram, her handle is Into the Wools. You may know this, but for those who don't, we have this thing we do where we get each other souvenir yarn. Not on every trip we go on, but I did it on the first Irish knitting tour. I did it on this knitting tour, although I haven't sent her yarn yet. It's hanging on my door. There's a huge mess that you can see now, but where is it? Here. It's hanging on my door in a bag. I haven't sent it yet. But when she goes to New Zealand, she gets me yarn and she sends me yarn. So we have like this souvenir skein swap tradition that we do. So I got hers from her New Zealand trip, and the yarn is amazing. I've been wanting to try this kind of yarn for a while, but honestly, the yarn is not the thing that I'm most excited and honored by to receive. But I will show you the yarn. This is Zelina Air, Zelina something Air, and it's blended cashmere and brush tail possum. So I have been wanting to try New Zealand possum yarn for a while. It has this really nice halo to it, and it's so soft. So it's not like a possum like I think of in North America. It's a different animal. But this yarn is 40% cashmere, 40% brushtail possum, and 20% mulberry silk. And it's the prettiest, like, dusty purple, like purple neutral. So pretty. So that's the yarn. And the real showstopper is this project bag. Rachel sews project bags, and I have always admired them and thought, man, I need to get one of those one day. And now I have one, and it's purple and floral and quilted. It's just such an honor. It has this cute little sewn-in tag that says, handmade by Rachel, and I just feel so honored. Thank you so much, Rachel. Also in the package she sent was a lip balm, a lanolin lip balm from New Zealand, and a New Zealand fuchsia magnet. Had to grab it because I put it on the mirror that's above the sock cranking station because the frame is metal. So beautiful and pretty. And then also she sent me the sweetest little postcard note, but a print of New Zealand fuchsia. She took this photo on her film camera. Isn't that so nice and wonderful and thoughtful? So, really putting me to shame, Rachel, because I haven't even sent your package yet. But just super appreciative of that. That was another acquisition that I received. And then, can't top that, but this is kind of a boring follow-up. I got some replacement needle tips. In an earlier podcast, much earlier, like a couple months ago, I mentioned how one of my bamboo needle tips was not, the join was not secure, and someone mentioned that Chiagu has a replacement program. So I went on there and I filled out the form, and I got replacements for my 2 sizes of needle tips that had issues in my set, free of charge. Didn't even have to pay shipping. So if you have issues with your Chiagus, definitely take advantage of that program. So I have my size 7 needle tips replaced now and ready for the next project. And then also my size 2 needle tips replaced and ready for the next project. So thank you, Chiagu, for being my favorite needles and having such excellent customer service. Also, I do have another acquisition that I don't think I've shown on the podcast. This is my Yarn Enthusiast journal. It's dated for 2025. And the reason that I'm showing it to you is, well, there's a couple reasons. I think that you should buy one. These are available at knitcalifornia.com, and they're a great way to plan out your knitting goals for the new year. And it doesn't have to be knitting. It could be crochet, it could be spinning, it could be whatever your, crafting related goals are. But There is this Knitters Bingo page that I really want to fill out, but I'm kind of stumped on what to put here for 2025 as I'm thinking of my goals for the new year. I'm not set on any one thing or set of things. So I was wondering if you could help me out and give me some ideas of what to put on the bingo page, because I'm just stumped. Yeah, but I'm excited to start playing with this and filling it out, adding my goals, writing it out, thinking it out. And it's just so pretty. It's purple. It has California poppies in the skein of yarn. Love it. So what other acquisitions do I have? I don't think that's, I think that's all I have. So let's move on to announcements. Come with me to Scotland. We have just barely any space left, but if you want to come, you got to sign up right away. So I'll put the link in the video description as always and in a pinned comment. And if the sign up form says there's room, you can still sign up. But once it's full, we will put a notice saying it's full. You can join the wait list if you want. But this is basically your last chance because the spots are gonna go. We had some signups over the weekend, so that's that. That's final. I had one other announcement I wanted to tell you. What was it? I don't know what it was. So if it comes to me, I'll tell you next week. Or I don't know, maybe it was a fake thing that I'll never remember. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, hope you're having a great day. Hope you're doing something that brings you joy. If you're doing something that is burning you out, whether it's Vlogmas or, I don't know, something else, just stop doing it, okay? Just stop doing it. Life is too short. So that's all I have for today. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks for being here. And, yep, see you next time.